Welcome. I am Crimey Queen, and if you are joining us for the first time, it's the channel where we have fun with words and numbers, numerology to be precise. So before I continue saying any more, I just want to remind you that the importance of smiling. So just remember to smile as often as we can and laugh, because of course both smile and laugh equals the master number 22. Now, I just find that a wonderful synchronicity. We say coincidence, whatever it is, but I don't think it's by chance, as I'm believing that if you're watching this channel, you understand that too. Okay, so we are really about words and numbers and seeing how scriptural texts have impacted our lives and what numerical value that keywords or whatever words that intuitively arise and see how they impact on our lives, or see how we can use them, or what understanding or messages that they come to convey, because I believe that intuition is key. And speaking of intuition is key, that is what we have been talking about. Mother Eve, the waters in chapter 1 of Genesis verse 2, that the waters that were mentioned there is Mother Eve. Some would refer to as the black hole. So basically, Mother Eve is really had the story of Adam and Eve. We can see it was perhaps an intuitive notion to really have this whole story to teach us. It's it's not by chance that that story had been conveyed or even related in the way it has been. Because oftentimes, when, as I say, when we are spoon fed, we tend to be reliant on the person who continues to feed us. It's like the mother needs to have an understanding when to wean the child off the breast, and as everything else. And that was about Mother Eve. Now, something very profound has just come to mind as well. The weaning the child off the breast, and that would account, I believe that would account to Mother Eve having to, we could say, have a demarcation, or not quite a separation, but we could say that it denoted a sort of separation or another dimension in the relationship with her children. Hence why we are now in a situation where we need to come back and be nursed by her. We need to come back and be loved by her. We need to, in fact, we are always loved by her, but we need to experience that and have that awakening of that awareness. So, before I go on, let me introduce you to Mother Eve if you are new to this channel, that is, and the template that we work on. So this is Mother Eve. This is Mother Eve. This is the depiction of Mother Eve, and really with the story of Adam and Eve, we could say. But I am doing this. I've been intuitively guided, I could say, to do this as Mother Eve, as the Mother Eve, the mother of mothers, the mother of all living. And hence it was the same quotation that Adam gave he, when he said, when he named his wife Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Okay, so as I say, it could be a generational thing, but let's go on, because a lot of truth is unfolding there. Now, the reason why I have been going on about Mother Eve, because it may seem like we have, like many other people are talking about the divine feminine, which I think is very appropriate as well. However, I feel that the main thing is to understand the quality of the relationship that we need to establish with Mother Eve. When we say Mother Eve, that is with the feminine divine, whatever female is in your life, or even, not even, more so, the female that is part of who you are. So within you, it's important to get in touch with that feminine aspect, or having that relationship with the feminine aspect of yourself. Now, of course, it is also important to address your masculine side. See how it has impacted on your makeup. See how it has guided you or misguided you, or what it is that we need to change, what it is that we need to adopt, and so that we can have a healthy disposition to um, mesh with the guidance and energy of the feminine goddess, Mother Eve. Okay, so there we are with Mother Eve. Now, just to give you a quick illustration of this, I also have videos on template to actualizing self-love, or template to numerology. So, but this again was intuitively guided, and the thing about intuition really is that you may have an idea to do something, but then it's the strong notion and effortless notion to just go along. It's like water. You've just opened the tap and the water is flowing. And whatever its base is underneath the water, of course, that's the shape that it's going to take. Hence why it is important that people like myself, or all of us, need to be clean containers, or have a certain shape that would captivate and facilitate that water that which is flowing. Okay, so there we go, back to the template. So it is sacrifice. This was devised on the word sacrifice, and it was around Easter time, looking at the sacrifice of Christ. And of course, numbers 1 to 9. So it's 9 numbers and it's 9 letters. The word sacrifice, however, equals 46. 4 plus 6 is 10. Not 9, but it is 10. But however, intuitively guided, 10 is really the like 9. It is a closeness. It is the ninth month of the child being in the womb, the birthing. It's not actually being born already, but it's the birthing. It is in that process right here. We call it new birth. You could still say that, because the energies are so strong even when the baby is out of the womb, but the energy between mother and child is still so closely connected. So we can also say that that is 9. All right. And while I was doing this template, I was intuitively guided to change the position of this, although I was just doing this in a fun way. Actually, I had done this before doing this particular template, but it was just to really teach myself how to remember the numerical values. And so what I did find was that when I got to number 2 here, which is BKT, I could not, change or touch this position at all. I think it's BKT, because this would be, normally, it would be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. So basically, I have changed the J position here, and the K, the K stays the same, but the J I had changed, and the A was changed. But this column is unchanged. This column here has been changed, and one letter, I think it's one letter here, perhaps it's the M, has been changed here. or the V, or one of them have been changed. And in new, we had changed the position of the N. The N would be somewhere about here, the W or the E. The E. The E would be here and the N would be there. Okay, so, and when it came to the other side, it's like an invisible hand with effortlessly. I was not inclined to change in anything else. And you will see with the rhythm of how it has flown, that it was effortless when I would find myself saying, because those things that I was actually saying, some of them really came out while I was doing this particular template. So basically, we do our jazz and the bucket. I call this the bucket for number 2. And number 3, I call it luck. Number 4 is development. And number 5 is new. 6 for Fox. 6, of course, um, you can understand that being Fox TV. Then we had 7 for Gypsy. This is meant to be 7, so this is really indicative of two sevens that stick together, forming a square. So there we are trying to understand the squares, why we have squares everywhere. And it also makes sense to me with squares, with the 7, because there are two sets of sevens in all creation or whatever, because we see in Genesis when it says, and God saw, meaning cut something. So there are two saws, or it's so we have gypsy journey. So after go having had been a fox, of course, which I'm going to backtrack. Here in the new, I like to emphasize the new, because the new is where it is often said, when you're in Christ, you are a new creature. And of course, we have concluded that the creature is the fox. You need to be like a fox, because you are learning a new way of doing, thinking, and being. So you need to have your head on. And of course, you are on your new journey, which is the gypsy journey, the spiritual journey, the enlightened journey. Of course, this takes you to headquarters zone, because you're moving in different dimensions where you need to apply yourself in a different headquarters zone, as you can see HQZ, and which also requires you to pay your dues in this in new dimension to the inland revenue. So basically, everywhere we go in this realm, there is a degree or a demand for payment, the inland revenue, your dues. Okay, let's it's amazing how Mother Eve's earrings are one lighter than the other, and I think, like everything else, nothing is by chance. So I'm believing that that is coinciding perfectly with the dark and the light of the 5 pointed stars that we are, but the light came out of the dark, so there are 5 points to the of the light, we could say. Okay, and we see from this is just to give you the essence of what we have been doing. The out is the 11. So the when God called the light out of the dark, the darkness is 10. So in actual fact, there in that verse of the scriptures is telling us Mother Eve is also 10, is 10. But we see from the 5 pointed star here and all the things that we have been covering from this template that Mother Eve is 5. So the 10, of course, is where man comes, because man equals 10, heaven equals 10, hell equals 10. So this is really telling us that everything, meaning EVERY, with Eve, Mother Eve, everything came from Mother Eve. Literally everything. This is what we are talking about. And this is what I would really like listeners to really pay attention to, that we as much as we can possibly understand and accept this notion, then it helps us to be able to live more peacefully with others, be more accepting, be less judgmental, be more loving and giving and receiving as well. So just to be, just being. Okay, so back to this point here, I'd just like to say this is where it is reported that Eve ate of the fruit, which I have been saying it's moringa, it's the seeds, but more because moringa also equals 5, like apple also equals 5. But you can make your choice of whatever fruit suits you. So the 8, meaning the word 8 equals 8 equals 8. And their eyes were open, meaning their eyes, both Eve and Adam's eye was open. But the eye is really, it also equals 8. There we have the tongue, of course, in the mouth equals 10. And so we have the tongue is that which is balanced. It is it it accepts everything and it makes no judgment. It's up to individuals of how they use what comes out of it, what judgments the mind or whatever else makes of it. So whatever comes out, it's really in actual fact, it's just is, which is also equals 10. So this is what happens here. So there was no judgment in Mother Eve really eating of the fruit, but it's really when it is said, and she saw it was good, or saw it was good, and actually she saw it was good before eating of the fruit. Now that's something. Before eating of the fruit, meaning it's always said that the pudding is in the, well, the taste of the pudding is in the pie, or something to that effect, meaning you can only make judgments of food, for instance, when you have tasted it, or you can say it looks good, or but you to make a judgment that you see it is good, it's really that you know it is good. Mother Eve knew it was good, and she knew it was good. So basically, and I'm not quite sure for now if I'm saying the right word, because it could be she knew it was good or saw it was good, just one of those words, but actually that was before actually eating of the fruit. So there is where the eye is open. Of course, the word knows, for knows also equals 8. So we see there is an 8 here, 8 here. These are 8 as well. So that's 4 eights, and 1 8 here is 5 eights. 5 eights are 40. Now that 4 is actually like setting foundation. It's like another foundation. It's as if saying, for instance, it serves as a bedrock. It's the pillar that we stand on. It's the house. It's the 4 pillars of the house. Okay, so there's 8, 8, 8, 8, 4, and 1, 5. And of course, because this is where illumination is. Right, so just to have given you a taste of this, and it's actually 18 minutes, so I'm just going to give a taste of what I really want to talk about, and I hope you can join me on another presentation. So basically, my last few presentations, I discovered that there are 9 gods in Genesis of chapter 1. So when I say 9 gods, of course, every god, from how I have seen, derived from the black hole. It's that Mother Eve. That Mother Eve is the said god. Now, I am really feeling good to be able to say that confidently, going over the scriptures and going over the messages that I have been inclined to relate. So Mother Eve is the said God. And last time I spoke of the said God, it's Mother Eve who actually said, let there be light. Now we see, for instance, that light in the scriptures, the story is that Jesus is the light of the world. Although we have also the story of Lucifer is the light bearer, we have that story as well. So it's like there are two lights there in actual fact when we see Lucifer and Christ being both referred to as lights. Now that is crucial. But however, it is the said God, Mother Eve, who says, "Let there be light, let there be a firmament, let there be the waters, let the waters that are out of the waters," and all of those things which I actually thought differently before. And so there are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but it's on the seventh. So there has been like a consistency to the seventh let there be or let the. So basically, what has been consistent from 1 to 7 is that word the, because the word the also is in the word there. So that has been very consistent. So, and that I believe also conveys a very strong message, because in there is the is 6. 6 is Genesis. When we do the numerical value for Genesis, it equals 6. So I'll just do this here, Genesis. So let's take this off. So this is 7555191. So we add 10, 20, 32, and 133. So 33, the master number. Okay, so we see the master number is number 6, and is very consistent here in this seven um seven columns of seven in the seven sentences. Okay, you get what I mean. But so basically, here now, for instance, let us. So it changes here. This is where it changes, but it's still God said, who is saying now on the eighth entry is the word, on the eighth entry, then she changes and says, "Let us make." Now, let us make man in our own image and likeness. Now, there are so many things in this conveyed in this. Let us make. So, Mother Eve is really like inviting, if you like, or initiating initiating a view or opinion or whatever it is, and saying, "Let us make man." Now, us is actually four. So this is US, like United States, is four. Now, four is, as I say, there we have let. This is 8 times, and 4 and 8. There was something I just said was 40, or on the other presentation, but where I said 5 eighths, I was talking about the eighths. Yes. So I also said on the face, we had the mouth, we had the nose, and the three eyes. So three eyes and two, the nose and the tongue. That's 8. So 5 eighths of 40. 5 eighths of 40. So there we see that 40 is, it's as if it's encapsulated in this US right here. This is what I'm saying. So on the 8th, we see that there is like a stamp that says, "Let us make man in our own image and likeness." And there we have us right here, which is 4, which denotes that 40, the 8, the 5 8, the 5 eyes, Okay, so there we're going to conclude on this template for now, and return to exploring um, this very intriguing, for me it's very intriguing, and I'm very excited and wondering where it's going to take us. So I'm all open to seeing how this is coming about, because already the set God now gives me a degree of understanding my nature as Eve, because Eve spoke 8 times, we could say. It's on the 8th time. So when it is said, and God set, for instance, that would have been the 8th, because set is number 8. And this is where all the changes began. Now I am taking the liberty, and I'm going to say that I believe that it would mean that we are the 8th exodus of people that had come about. Okay, so do join me on this, because I am confident with what I'm saying, and so we're going to explore this, and where I can really explain to you scripturally, and of course you too may have other information that could substantiate what I'm saying, I believe. So thank you. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you found it fun, because fun is what we also do. But let's not be too serious, overly serious about this, but have fun in the journey of actualizing self-love. If you haven't heard about actualizing self-love, is where we are on this journey, ensuring that we have enough love, enough self-love, that it doesn't matter when someone refuses to pay attention to us, that we feel that, oh, we're not loved. No, we are replenishing, constantly replenishing ourselves, and enough to render love to others. Thank you for watching. Namaste.